Good morning. It is almost 11 o'clock, 5 minutes to 11. I am very fat right now, but a lot of that will change this summer. You know, summer's a great time to shed the weight.
Yeah, I'm
and
excited.
That was one of my favorite parts about being young. And now that I get a chance to finally relive life. So if anyone who wants to make fun of me, you can call this my midlife crisis. Many people go through a midlife crisis where they are lost and do some really crazy things.
Yeah.
For me, my goal is to reinvent myself by doing nothing more than being myself. It's a joke. I'm not reinventing anything. I'm just Dan Reeses, and I have a lifetime of amazing accomplishments and achievements. And rather than focusing, so for example, I just finished with my therapist. Jamie had to listen to it because she's helping me detox.
Which is amazing, and I don't think people really understand
What did the therapist say?
The reality of what you've done in the last 20 years.
What did my therapist say? I am so excited about this.
That you're...
3 things she said.
That it's amazing what you did. Like she couldn't believe it.
I know, like...
she was so happy.
She actually didn't believe it.
Yeah.
She's like, do you want more pills? I was like, no. And then she offered me Klonopin. So she was amazed that I got off of benzodiazepine, which is Xanax. Right. And she was like, she barely could believe that I detoxed off
I think that
Percocet, she called it, but it's Roxicet. It was 15 milligrams. I was prescribed 3 pills. I took 1 of the 3.
Correct.
So I was on 15 milligrams of Roxicet for 9 years.
And you took it 1 time a day.
I was in remission from 4 invasive colon cancer surgeries.
Correct. And so every day you are in pain.
I'm in pain now. Yeah, I'm in pain now. But I would rather be in pain than deal with the like when I was arrested for having 1 Xanax on me, that's mine.
That's yours.
Yeah, I realized like, whoa, okay, if it happened once, it's gonna happen twice.
The fact that they added that was just like kind of a really unprofessional thing, because one, you not only did you have
the first one was not only not a crime,
you had a picture of it.
Everything's on body cameras.
And like,
so I'm looking
are you just supposed
to
arrest everyone that walks through an airport with their pills and like their plastic thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so stupid. It makes no sense that you had 1 of your own medication. Sorry, it really bothers me that that was added. It's just like they had nothing better to do, so they wanted to and just make it difficult for you.
Yeah, like I said, we could rehash it all day long. The truth is that I'm really excited for the NBA Finals. The Knicks are in it, for all you Knicks fans. I'm a big fan of the New York Knicks. I want the Knicks to win, but I also want everything to be fair, and I hate cheaters. I do. I hate cheaters more than anything. I hate human beings who take advantage of humans that love sports and become addicted to sports gambling. So when you put the two together, there's a couple of things that are really wrong with our country that I'm hoping to be able to correct quietly in the background. And I want to remind everyone that there's this guy called Michael Avenatti. You know who that is?
Uh-huh.
Do you know what he's famous for?
He,
other than representing Stormy Daniels.
Well, that was the only thing.
That's what you were going to say?
Yeah. And didn't he also try and blackmail someone? Or
He did. He did. He literally did. He tried to extort.
Extort. Thank you. That's the word, not blackmail.
Well, I knew what you were saying, and I understood the context. But what Michael Avenatti did was he had some incriminating evidence against the Nike Corporation, and rather than litigating or expressing to them that, well, first and foremost, you can't just make a company pay you money so they avoid being publicly shamed. If you have information to publicly shame a company, you either publicly shame the company or have a motivation, or you communicate with the company and say, listen, this is the information that I have.
Yeah.
Is this true? Are you willing to take corrective action?
What happens if a company doesn't respond?
At that point, you have a moral decision that you want to make. And like the moral decision is that when you're dealing, the auteurs myth goes in reverse. So when you're dealing with a corporation like Nike, and let's say the president of the corporation is caught on a hot mic dropping the N-bomb and saying like, oh, if it wasn't for these, black athletes endorsing the white kids whose parents have the money would never buy it. Like some really controversial stuff, which I don't know if it happened or didn't. Most likely it didn't, to tell you the truth. I'm just using it as an example, and I feel bad that Nike's the example because I don't think Nike did anything wrong,
Right.
other than producing sneakers in a country using child labor. But like at the same time, who am I to judge their corporate practices if we as a society support it? Does that make sense?
As I wear my Nike sneakers.
Like I have no ability to associate myself with the Asian culture. The human beings that are producing the sneakers are the ones that create the children and choose to exploit them in child labor fashion. Who am I to say that that's culturally wrong? Maybe in their culture, that's just the way it is. Maybe you just start working when you're 4, and like me, you have no childhood, which is fine. And like, it doesn't seem like, other than people who escape China and want to live a positive life, it doesn't seem like there's a big issue with what's going on, other than the fact that the people themselves want to live that life. It's like North Korea. If the people that are in North Korea do not want to get on a boat and get the fuck out of North Korea, which I assure you, any engineer that works whatever, you could get out of North Korea, and you could like go to the UN and say that there's people being tortured and that, and like you're gonna have a serious militant response. But
Okay.
like the truth is, the people that live in North Korea want to live in North Korea.
Right.
It is a voluntary culture, and
You digress, though. You were talking about if a company doesn't respond.
well, the
to-
reality of the digression really stems from the auteur theory. That the auteur theory, well, it's the auteur myth, but I will project it as the auteur theory, is that the human being that is dealing with an information packet that they feel is worth money not being released publicly to a brand does not comprehend that the brand is comprised of millions of human beings, not just the one individual that's currently in a position of power. The brand can replace that individual, take responsibility, and deal with the matter appropriately. This is Nike. They deal with child labor law violations. They're lawyers. That shit right there, like whatever they got, that's like, it's like water on a duck's back for them. So when Michael Avenatti expressed and remember, he was on a big high. It was a very anti-Trump climate that he was riding a big wave of. And Michael Avenatti, like Icarus, flew a little too high to the sun.
Close to the sun, his wings got burned.
Yeah, and the
Or
reason I
melted,
say
whatever it is.
I say that is because instead of treating the client, and Michael Avenatti had a law firm in the same state that I have a law firm, which is California. I don't have a license to practice law, nor is the company active, so I don't take clients. That doesn't mean I don't own the brand that's associated with the law firm. That I do own. 50% of John Pierce owns the other 50%. Jared Resnick notarized the document.
Exactly.
Yeah, like a fun fact. So when it comes to the reality of where the truth lies, the auteur's myth, as applied to the Michael Avenatti case, will clearly state that Michael Avenatti, as well as his client, truly believe that there's one individual that is responsible for the success of Nike. So that one individual would be the person that is responsible for it.
Okay.
What they didn't really understand is Nike's attorneys, Daniel and Reese, is the U.S. government. We have one theory that we abide by when we are threatened by terrorists, is that we don't negotiate with terrorists. It's just a very plain and simple thing. You have something we want, or whatever, destroy it. We don't negotiate with terrorists. We're mounting counterattack. And please, I'm a non-violent human. When I say counterattack, I'm talking about strictly legal. So, like, I'm receiving harassing, threatening, illegal communications on a daily basis.
Correct.
Rather than going on YouTube and expressing, hey, fuck this, that, I don't like my wife's lawyer, this and that. No, relax. I'm going to show everyone my true colors and do a proper legal filing with the appropriate declarations, facts, and subpoenas and testimony and depositions that are required for case management and status conferences to be accurate and reflective of my desire to terminate the cases in a positive dispositive motion. But truly, at no point am I interested in obviously never hurting anyone physically, never hurting myself, never manipulating anyone, never manipulating the system. Everything I do is 100% honest, transparent, direct, and I do it either on YouTube or directly in front of people. I don't do anything behind people's backs. I don't do side conversations. I don't do conversations when it comes to everyone that decides arbitrarily of what they say to the person they're speaking to. So if you're a human being that changes their story depending on who you're speaking to, you will find yourself completely at a loss. Do you have any questions?
Amazing. No.
You find simple
I can't
three-ball
believe-
juggling amazing?
Well, you're doing it while you're sitting down with your legs crossed.
Yeah, it's really
and
hard.
talking on
A lot of people don't know how it is to juggle when you're sitting down.
And
your
talking.
Like, back and butt have to move.
I wouldn't be able to also.
I have a big butt, so I have a lot of like butt muscles. So I mean, it's true.
I have a lot of butt muscles.
Well, I have a huge ass, you know? Like, Hugh Jackman?
Yeah.
Like, if I was an actor in Hollywood, I would be Hugh Jazz.
Yeah.
Like, my name is Hugh Jazz. Like, Jazz.
Yeah. Hugh Jazz.
Yeah, Hugh Jazz.
I think
You should write that down. Remind me to make this the title. And the reason why I say all this stuff is because now here's the meat and potatoes of what we're doing. And I'll be leaving here at around 12, 1 o'clock to spend the whole day and night cooking a brisket so that I could prepare myself for a sales pitch of a entry-level brand that I need to launch immediately in order to start generating revenue. It's not very complicated. I'd like to do it on YouTube, so I express to everyone that everything I do is genuine. I do it openly. I do it so that people can learn, be motivated, and understand that if a complete idiot loser like me can do it, you, the brilliant human being that is far smarter than me, can easily do it. Now, the conversation we're going to be having today is compulsive digital observation, social media dependency, and the voyeuristic behavioral analogy. Let's try it again. Compulsive digital observation, social media dependency, and the voyeuristic behavioral analogy.
Yes.
Do you understand what that means?
Yes.
Like, stop being a fucking voyeur.
We've been talking.
Sorry, I'm just kidding. It's just a joke. I say it as a joke because what I'm going to be discussing is extremely, very, very, very difficult to digest, which is why the title, please write, I'm going to write this down.
Is what?
The title is Do Not Watch This Video, Please.
Okay.
And if you're a human being who read that and clicked on it, you are guilty of this.
Yeah.
And it's not guilt. It's a sickness that needs help and love, dedication, commitment, and openness and communication, and not stigma and shame. And what I'm talking about is helping a human being, not hurting a human being by utilizing something like this. If I wanted to do that, I would have presented this 11 months ago. But given the context and the timing of everything, it's important that it comes out there, so I'm going to need your help.
Sure.
Can you do me a huge favor?
Yes.
Can you please read this and stop at every section that you want to discuss?
Sure.
So all I'm going to be doing is listening, making random faces, drinking Gatorade, playing with my fidget spinner, my favorite one, and you're ready. Look at that. All right, excellent. World's best assistant. I don't know what the graphic should be. Look at this fat.
A legal and DSM-5 grounded analysis of...
Wait, Jamie, what's DSM-5 mean?
The diagnostic, it's like a mental health diagnostic tool that mental health professionals use to talk about various mental health issues and behaviors.
Why is it
So
important?
it's recognized by the mental health community.
Why is it important in court?
Because it's recognized by the mental health community.
Why is it important in court?
You asked me the question, I answered, so I don't know.
All right. The answer is that within the context of the court, the DSM-5 system is fully recognized universally in every court motion and argument as a legitimate thing.
Correct.
Meaning that human beings that are attorneys are able to reference DSM-5. There needs to be a subject matter expert that's associated with it, but loosely based observational references regarding the DSM-5 are fully acceptable as legal arguments from non-medical professionals. Meaning that at no time is the non-medical professional accusing anyone of having it. They're just saying that based on the characteristics of what the court has seen, the closest explanation would be a DSM-5 related matter. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So everyone needs to understand at no time am I accusing anyone. I'm just making a general observation as a legal mind A legal mind is able to come together at the most important part, which is the closing argument. My closing argument is going to revolve around one video as well as a series of very basic questions that I will ask, and then after that I would like to conclude and be over. I will allow the opposite party to speak as long as they need, obviously, but hopefully everything concludes tomorrow. I know that my time, not tomorrow, the day after, my time will be only 3 hours, so I know that I'll finish somewhere around noon. Okay? Now that everyone understands what DSM-5 is, please continue.
A legal and DSM-5 grounded analysis of perceived loss of control in repetitive public social media monitoring. The emergence of...
Stop. It's very complicated. What does that mean?
It's talking about what you just said, the analysis of someone who has loss of control watching social media, either a channel or something else, or
perceived loss of control. They believe that it is.
Account,
all right, keep
whatever.
going.
The emergence of social media has fundamentally altered the psychological relationship between observation, access, intimacy, surveillance, compulsion, and behavioral reinforcement. For the first time in human history, billions of individuals now possess continuous, instantaneous, algorithmically reinforced,
keep reading and talk whenever you
visual
want, okay?
and emotional, algorithmically reinforced visual and emotional access to the lives of others. While much of this conduct is socially normalized and legally permissible, normalization alone does not immunize behavior from psychological pathology or compulsive dysfunction. The central issue is therefore not whether viewing public social media content is itself unlawful or inherently pathological. It plainly is not. Rather, the more sophisticated legal and psychiatric inquiry is this: at what point does repetitive, compulsive, emotionally driven monitoring of another person's public digital existence cease to resemble ordinary viewing behavior and begin to resemble a clinically dysfunctional, compulsive, observational pattern analogous to voyeuristic or obsessive surveillance pathology? Basically, what this assessment you did is saying, okay, let's take an average person who looks on social media platforms and their behavior and how much they look at various content. And if someone, at what point does someone's viewing of a specific person's account or channel become more than just casual entertainment and become an obsessive compulsive disorder where they feel that they either are somehow part of it or they are emotionally attached to them in some way, and the compulsion becomes the need to see it repetitively, and the rest of the world almost doesn't exist.
What did I miss?
Just kind of what it is. We haven't gotten over the first summary. Basically, I'll just reiterate the last sentence that you missed.
Yeah, what do you
At what point does repetitive, compulsive, emotionally driven monitoring of another person's public digital existence ceases to resemble ordinary viewing behavior and begins to resemble a clinically dysfunctional, compulsive observation pattern similar to voyeuristic or obsessive surveillance?
So basically,
pathology.
this whole thing has a question in the middle of it is, where's the line drawn?
Correct. Between just an average person looking for entertainment
or that's interested in Dan's content to someone, I have no control, I have to watch it. Right. Whatever the reason is, it's irrelevant.
Correct.
It's a human being who says that based on their perception of reality, they are forced to watch it.
Right. So it's very similar to the stories you've heard in the past.
So can you imagine?
People who have stalkers and things.
Can you imagine if there is a person out there who actually says, I cannot control myself, I have to watch it for the safety of me and my children. Can you imagine the level of impossible position that the person that's creating the content, because remember, they have no control over what this person does, but this person has the ability to go and say, because of the content, I have no control over myself. Now, this is a DSM-5 actual thing, meaning that this is a mental illness that needs to be addressed with love, care, and a commitment to an isolated position where they're no longer accessible. So if you're a human being that has submitted a court order that says, I have no control over it, the content is scaring me, it is scaring my children, please understand you are 100% this person, okay? So that's why I say don't watch this, is because it's not healthy for people who are actually this to watch this content. That's why I say please don't watch this.
Understood.
Does that make sense?
That makes a
Keep
lot of
going.
sense. The distinction is critically important because modern law has recognized that legality does not preclude addiction, accessibility does not eliminate pathology, and public availability does not negate compulsive behavioral dysfunction. Alcohol is legal, gambling is legal, internet access is legal, yet alcoholism, gambling addiction, and internet dependency are all clinically recognized phenomena. The same analytical framework can
Legal
therefore
versus illegal
be
is
applied to
irrelevant.
compulsive digital observation behavior.
What do you read that as?
I read that as it is the same. It is this can be it is
Legally and
classified the
mathematically.
same thing as alcoholism, as gambling addiction, as something else. You cannot control yourself. You have
right.
a compulsion.
You have a compulsion, you cannot
You need
control
to have
yourself.
fix. You need
So
to fix
imagine
it.
if
You need
you're
to
a
fix it.
gambling
You need to
addict.
fix it.
You're a gambling addict, but your father's a billionaire. So instead of stopping the gambling addiction, he just gives you $1 million a day.
Yeah.
So you could just be a gambling addict forever until
Yeah.
your family completely broke, and then
Right.
that's it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's the equivalent of if you are that sick and you have a support system that is supporting you, that is because they are also affected just like this.
Correct.
Meaning like it's a hereditary issue. So it's, believe it or not, I did a lot of research on this prior to even filing my TRO. Keep going.
1. The DSM Foundational Framework. The relevant psychiatric framework originates from the DSM, which is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 5th edition, which classifies voyeuristic disorder within the category of paraphilic disorders. The classical DSM-5 formulation generally requires the following. 1. Recurrent and intense arousal from observing unsuspecting persons.
Okay, what does that mean? Arousal, is that sex?
It could be arousing, it could be excitement of some way, you know, of course. From looking at, like getting a high from looking at people, on observing people. So like peeping toms, things of that nature.
Okay, but like that's like a 90s thing. Isn't
I understand,
the
but
whole
there
point of
has
this?
to be a base. Like the
I know, but
inside-
is the point of this that when we were growing up, peeping toms, stalkers, panty
Yes.
sniffers, panty raiders,
That's it.
that's what voyeurs
Yes,
were, right?
yes.
Guys with like cameras, hidden cameras,
Yes,
all that crazy
yes,
shit, okay?
yes.
Nowadays, you're saying the entire concept has shifted and multiplied to
Yes.
a viral effect, puns intended, and that regular unsuspecting people are actually secretly sick voyeurs, but only because of a disguised version of an option does that cannibalistic voyeur activity
Right.
come out.
Right. And it's so available. Like in the past, if you think about the 90s, people had to kind of really go out of their way to try and be a voyeur. Now you could just log into your laptop and log
Right.
into
And you can just stalk someone.
and until you really feel like you have a
So,
connection.
if
with
anyone's
them.
wondering, my content is designed for the people that want to watch it in a healthy way. I talk about applied mathematics, I cook, I got over opioids. My doctor thought that was amazing to a point where she couldn't even like believe it.
It's
But I'm
really
willing to take a
amazing.
blood test.
It's
I don't
amazing
understand.
thing.
I'm getting insulted on a daily basis, but people won't put their money where their mouth is. I keep getting called a drug addict, but I would give a blood test if
I
they're
think
willing
that
to put
it's-
it up.
it just-
That's how I know that they're liars and cowards.
Well,
is
people
because when
are
I say
faster.
this-
Well, exactly.
when
you
I
tell
say
someone
this,
that
and I'm
you
like,
beat
look,
in
if
this-
you're putting all of this in a declaration and I'm going to take a blood test, you're going to come out as a liar and a perjurer. So all I have to do is take a blood test, and I'm going to wait until Friday. and Friday night I'm going to take a blood test. That's it. It's very simple.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And the reason for that is because I've been 20 days fully clean of any opioids.
Yeah, and instead of being heralded for your great achievement,
well, my doctor
you're like
and
lambasted at first for like, how dare
I
you?
was told
You're a drug addict.
I am,
You're like, I'm sorry that I have
detoxing.
cancer.
I am detoxing illegally
Yeah.
on YouTube
I'm here.
without supervision while Jamie is here, and I cook. What did I make last night at Dan's Mental Hospital?
Oh, you made risotto. It was delicious.
Yeah.
Actually, I wish we
Mark
had
taught
some
me how to
extra.
make it, but I make it totally different.
Like we joke
we
that it's
finished it?
Dan's mental
We
hospital.
finished it?
But like it's true.
I would have some more.
I know,
but
it's
not
really
today. Today. If anyone's wondering, today I'm going to be working until about 10 p.m. at night.
Yep.
I'm going to be preparing, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I have to film a lot of content, and it's much easier to do it while I'm working, and it gives me a chance to really put it together and give everyone a chance to see just how
a day in the life.
Well, at one point I think someone is trying to get me to do community service as a way to stop me from filming YouTube content, even if I save one person's life from an opioid addiction.
I know, you're such an inspiration.
Like, I don't understand how someone even has the audacity to write that in court. Does this person know how horrible they look, or are they being advised by people that are actually worse than them somehow? So it's either one of the two, and eventually, I think Friday, we're going to find out. And that's why I'm excited. Like, win or lose, it's over, and I can just do whatever I need to do. And people don't understand just how mean for 25 years people treated me, and I feel that I escaped hell. I would never go back there. I would never do anything to instigate that. I don't think anyone understands that because they've never been a part of a prison in a family environment, and to get out of it alone is amazing. And the fact that I can get my kids out through nothing more than lawyers, it's not that complicated. And like, once my kids are with me and I can just be with them, I will never say anything bad about anyone. I'm not interested in bad mouthing. That's all that people did to me, was bad mouth me. I will never do that about anyone because I learned just how much it'll backfire when the truth comes out. That alone should make you scared, because I'm never going to talk shit about you because you're below me, and I don't even want you to exist in my life.
Right. The
do you want to save
really
the rest of that? Do you think that do you think that we've made the point about, do you want to read a little more?
No. I think
Are there any parts that you want to highlight?
Give me a second.
Go through it. You know how to say that hair style in Russian?
No.
Kosichka.
Kosichka.
Yeah, see, you can pronounce that one.
I can.
Jamie is...
I'm trying.
You know what it is? One of the things that really, really drove me crazy growing up is every time I met someone that knew a few Russian words, those Russian words were always curse words. They were really negative. There were 3 or 5 of them. And that says so much about the individual, that the things that they want to gravitate towards is the curse words, the negative words. And Jamie is not someone that ever asked me about a single curse word, but she has asked me about random words, and she says them. She sounds ridiculous most of the time, but isn't that the most funnest, endearing part of the entire process of having a goyisha? No, she's instead of a geisha, she's a goyisha.
Exactly.
And these things are very, very comical.
Yeah. So the only thing I'd like to leave it on is, I think, is just to summarize it. Would be
I think that's smart. Go ahead.
So, the formulation you made is when
this video is independent of all the other videos. This is just part of the entry to an oral argument which will be presented via my case. And a lot of people don't understand the difference between harassment and freedom of speech when it comes to documentation of a process. Now, this Friday is probably the most important day of my life, so to me, I actually care. So it's very hard for me to function, so I'm going to be focusing on my art, I'm going to be focusing on my work, I'm going to be focusing on my boys, and I'm going to be focusing on the future, because the future's so bright that I gotta wear shades. Oh, and I should also wait until the segment's over before my cut line. Go ahead, finish it.
Okay.
I suck, I told you.
The summary is this: when an individual repeatedly and compulsively monitors another person's public digital presence despite emotional harm, impaired self-control, obsessive fixation, or inability to disengage, The conduct may exhibit psychological characteristics analogous to voyeuristic and compulsive surveillance behavior recognized within the DSM-5 framework.
Look, if you're not a human being who has gone on the record and said, I feel compelled that I must watch it, you have nothing to worry about. If the entire case that you have presented in front of someone should happen to be based on, I am being harassed because I have no choice but to watch this content, and this piece of evidence is introduced in the final phase, I believe that you might need to work on a closing argument that is different than what you had originally anticipated as a human being, that is some sort of a bad guy, because all he wanted was help, assistance, love, care, and truthfully, friendship and the best interest of the kids. I understand that the acceptance of that is very difficult. It is much easier to deny it and to hurt me. It has taken me a really long time to come to the conclusion that I understand how much my family does not like me. I do not believe that what I have done deserves the reaction. I just want to be left alone. I am willing to part ways like a man and take care of business if given a chance. Ms. Resnick, do you have anything else to add?
I'd like to add just one more time how completely...
How much I hate Jared Resnick. I know she's gonna say. He could say like how you could say I raised my kids. All
I
the
mean,
things
I
she
do.
told me.
I have so much rage. And it's true. Like the fact, it doesn't go away.
The final.
because-
I'm telling you, Jamie had like a whole breakdown yesterday. Not to like blow your shit up, but I believe people should know this. Like Jamie did everything for her kids and her husband for 15 fucking years. Every
Everything.
schedule, every login, every account, everything.
Every tier,
And she
every
has,
scrape near,
and her son's
everything.
graduation is coming up, and she's not a part of his life, and it's painful, and she's so concerned that he's not going to look as beautiful as he should, because he's a really handsome boy, and she did a really good job of making sure that he's taken care of. And I believe that people are really, really missing what's really in the best interest of the children, especially when it comes to such a beautiful boy like her son, and the relationship that they had. Jamie and him were connected to the hip.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I met her, I think that like I more replaced Crosby than anything
He
else.
was literally on my hip when you
People
first
don't
met
understand.
me.
Well, like Jamie and I are not romantically involved. That's my boy, and she's my best friend, and like I care for her, and like I don't know. She's just like she gets the shaft. I mean, like not literally.
Yeah, literally.
But I mean, like people treat her so bad for no reason. Her dad is so mean to her. Her brothers treat her like shit. Her ex-husband treats her like shit. He teaches her kids to treat her like shit.
True. This is all
These
true.
kids only exist because she grew them in her body.
I know.
And she raised them.
I'm
And
a
she's
really good mom.
She's an amazing
I'm a great mom.
Forget about it. There's not a single mom. Show me a single one of these cunts that don't talk to you right now. That fucking kissed your ass and I watched it at that party. You were a leader. You are funny. You are the best tennis player in this town. That's including all the men. I'm telling you right now, Jamie will whoop anyone. Maybe not Angel. He's really good. And like Abramson is really good. I played Abramson. He'd win. Maybe he'd win. Honestly, like on a 3-game set, depending on like how much booze these guys have. Well, I don't think Angel's a drinker, but actually, I like the guy. See, like there's a lot of people out there that like, and his name is not Chris. In case anyone. Look, my whole thing is this. I believe that people run from the truth because it's either painful or just too difficult to digest. And what they don't understand is that by getting over the reality and the stigma that's associated with just 1 or 2 mistakes, they block themselves from having a choice to do so many amazing things. And on that note, I just want to say, Jamie, what else do you have to say?
I'm really fucking proud of you. Like you have the last 20 days
Come on,
have been
just
amazing.
move on with that.
Why?
What do you have to say about like add for the subject matter? Forget about me. You know, this whole
It's-
channel's about me. Everything's about me. Like enough about me. Like what do you have to say? Your voice is finally back really on this thing, and you're not gonna get on the camera forever.
Thanks.
But your voice will be on here, like you and Casper and maybe a few other voices.
Exactly right.
The
And,
voices in my head.
I think that
They're in your head now, actually. That's actually funny.
I'm appreciative that you just let me vent about Jared. Jared's an asshole, but I do love my children, and I miss them every fucking second of the day. You know, it's really, really, really hard to be a mom whose children were taken from you, and they're like, I know this sounds weird, but like, you know, they're alive and down the street, and you can't see them. It's a fucking mind fuck. You have no idea. It's. I mean, you do actually.
Can I tell you
know.
something that'll make you feel better?
Yeah.
I know you're gonna think I'm crazy until you do it. See these 3 tennis balls right here? Why don't you write each one of their names and draw a face of them that reminds you of them?
Oh, I love that.
I know.
What a great
Well,
idea.
you're crazy, so you would like something
I
like
would.
that. Yeah.
I would.
But there's a reason for it, all right?
Okay.
But this reason will take about 13 years, so just give
So
me a
wait,
chance.
one more thing.
Yeah.
One more thing. I just want to say, it is a big week. Friday night's a big night, and I already know that I have the most beautiful daughter in the world, who is like the best of everything I ever wanted for
It's her
myself.
birthday?
It is not, but it's a really special day in a young girl's life, and I know that she's going to be beautiful and have an amazing night, and I love her so much. I love everyone so much. Boys, I love you so much, and
She's really lucky.
yeah,
You should be
I
there.
miss them so much.
I'm kind of sad.
Yeah,
You don't get to say it.
no, but I know in my head and my heart, because
My mom was there.
yeah.
She took more pictures of me than Julie.
Oh my god, if I was there, take a bazillion pictures, you know, maybe
she
it'll be
did.
nice, maybe someone will send me one. Maybe one of those quote unquote friends I used to have will send me a picture.
Oh, man, Jamie, you really got me. I gotta go, guys.